वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, Sairam everyone, good evening to all of you. There's about 18 of us in this call today. Thank you so much for taking your time to usher this weekend with with a nice study circle to start off the year with our center. So the topic for today is going to be worldly truth or and spiritual truth. So as you can see in the slide, these are the things to expect. So first of all, do we know there's two different type of truths, right? Did we know this? Are they the same? And what does Swami say about this? And why do we need to know this and the difference? And how can we practice it amidst all the challenges that we're going through in our daily lives? Okay, so without further ado, I just pass it on to Uncle Murthy to start. So you just have to remain muted, and then there will be certain sections in uh, the study circle itself where you can ask questions. Uncle Murthy will let you know, and then you can keep your questions at the end as well. So, excuse me, please ask as many questions as possible at the end. Okay. So thank you very much. Without further ado, I'll invite Uncle Murthy to start off the study circle. Sairam.
Hey, Sairam to everyone, and thank you, Brother Ishan. Hey, Sairam to brothers, sisters, and all the children. Today's study circle is, as Ishan has already mentioned, is worldly truth and spiritual truth. We will explore deeper into this particular topic, and Swami has spoken very greatly about this in 2010. I sourced it later. I'll put it there where I sourced it from. And the question that we are going to look at it today is, are they same? What Swami says about it? Why we need to know this particular thing? And how can we practice it with all the challenges that's happening in our daily life? And if you look at the picture in the first slide itself, you can see on your left-hand side, you can see a family with a beautiful home and a car, and you can see doing some seva, there's some education, and you need to earn some money for living. So there's one picture of all these four. And then extreme right, you can see a person sitting meditating with some values there, value, gunas, and 5 elements and the senses that they have. So when I put this question, worldly truth and spiritual truth, if you don't know about this, then we will get confused. That confusion is in the middle part, where you can see a child and an adult. All of us are quite confused to answer this. And it is good to get confused because only through confusion we can come to a conclusion. So let us get confused first. From here, we can move on. Okay. Now you go to the second slide. Okay. here I'm going to ask a question. Are they same? Worldly truth and spiritual truth. You can unmute and answer. At least I know someone participating. Don't worry about your answer. Just answer what you
They
feel
are
about
not
it.
the same.
Okay, very good, Ma. They are not the same.
They
May I
are
know why? Why they are not same, Ma?
Their feelings are different.
Okay, very good.
Can I say something, Brother Murthy?
Can, sister, can.
Okay, worldly truth is something you go after material things, I feel.
Okay.
Spiritual truth is something you go in search of God.
Okay.
I hope that's my understanding.
Okay, sister. Thank you. Very good, sister. Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else?
Salam, uncle. I'll try. So I think it is both the same and different. Same in a way that what do you call this? Worldly truth is basically the outward truths, like whatever is out there, right? It's true also. Both are truths, but it's out there. And spiritual truths focus on our atma, our inner self, and how we connect to Paramatma. I think that's the difference, lah. So yeah, my answer is same and different.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, brother. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Spiritual truth and worldly truth. Okay. We'll move on to the next slide. So this question, when I ask are they same, this will lead us to what is worldly truth and what is spiritual truth. Okay. If you look at both these questions, the common word there is truth. Okay. In both these, we have truth. And we have done a study circle on truth, and I'm not going to go very deep into the word truth because it will take us to another study circle. Let's just focus on this worldly truth and spiritual truth. And let's see what Swami has said about this worldly truth and spiritual truth. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Okay, worldly truth is reporting of events as they are, as you see them and as you do them constitute only worldly truth. Example here I can give you a simple example. Let's say every morning now we go to work. Students, you go to school. Housewives stay at home. Okay, you do your chores. The person who goes to work, they do their work in the office. Students, you do studies, then you come back, then you got tuition class, you got your homework you have to do. When the person goes to work, they come back home, they got their own house chores to do. And the person at home, they have to greet all of them back and they have their chores to do. So if you ask them what happened today, all of us will tell what happened from morning to night. Okay, we have our routine work, okay, our daily routine, and we go about it. This is what we call reporting events as they are, as you see them and as you do. Okay, this is worldly truth. For example, I can give you on this worldly truth is, sometimes when we go to bed, we were advised spiritually that before you sleep, you sit calmly, silent sittingly, and then you take stock of the day, what happens from morning to night. During this period of time, you will see what you did, who you heard, who you praised, what you give, what you got, okay? நம்ம கொடுக்கல் வாங்கல் இதெல்லாம் நீங்க அதில் பார்க்கலாம். That is why we say take stock of the day. And this is actually worldly truth. Okay, reporting events as they are. Okay, now we'll move on to the next, the spiritual truth. Okay, here you see what Swami says. It is beyond the realm of time, space, and circumstances, and it is not related to any particular time, place, or individual. It transcends the three qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Okay, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic quality. Yeah? This truth is verily God, and everything emerges from this truth. Okay. From here you can see, currently it's very hard for us to transcend the three qualities, that is Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. We are still in that same uh, uh, phase. Okay, we have Sattva in us, we do have Rajas in us, and sometimes we are also lazy, sloth. Okay, Sattva is the serenity. Rajas is the passion that you want to do, sometimes the action-based passion that you have. And Tamas is the sloth, the laziness that we have in us. So all three we have. We can't transcend this. But if you look carefully, the only person who can transcend this is God. Okay? Or what we can say this spiritual truth as godly truth. So it's worldly truth and godly truth. So if we cannot transcend this, how can we follow spiritual truth? Can we or cannot? Actually, we can. Swami simplified it and gave us a formula. A way how we can follow this spiritual truth, although we couldn't transcend these three qualities in us. Okay? We'll move on to the next now. Okay, we'll go slightly deeper into worldly truth with some examples that I'll give you. Okay, worldly truth is what you see with your eyes, hear with your ears, think with your mind. This worldly truth is the cause of both happiness and sorrow. It denotes worldly reality, which is subject to change with the passage of time. For example, this worldly truth, and it says happiness and sorrow. Today you buy a beautiful car. You are so happy traveling with the car. Tomorrow you get accident. You get into sorrow. Okay? So this is still worldly truth. As what sisters say, a materialistic life. Okay? And another important thing here is, if you look at the pictures here, and you see the last word there says that change with the passage of time. Okay, here I give you some info here. Okay, if you look at the first picture on your left hand side, it is what we call gay marriages. Those days, man married a woman. Okay, or woman married man. Okay. Now you see, man is getting married to a man. A woman is getting married to a woman. At earlier stage, we don't recognize this. Okay, but some countries recognize this marriage. So the passage of time, this is allowed. Okay, this is the worldly truth. And you see the second picture is actually a heroin, cocaine or methamphetamine. In some countries, now a small amount of this dose, if you take it personally, it is okay. Legally allowed. But in our country, no. Earlier, it was not allowed everywhere in the world. But some countries are now allowing it if you're going to use it personally in a small amount. But you can't use it publicly. Personally, at home, you want to use it, is allowed. So now, to look at this, earlier, this was illegal. Now, we have legalized it. And if you do a big heinous crime and kill somebody, as the last picture says, you get death sentence. Okay, that is ultimate death sentence. But now the world is fighting that we should not put death sentence. Who are we to kill somebody? Okay, so the death sentence has been removed, and some countries practice only life imprisonment. Okay, that also they have parole for the person to get normal and then they can live a normal life. So if you see, this is the changes that happen with the passage of time. Earlier, additional info that I don't put here. When a husband died, I'm talking the Hindu culture. When a husband died, the wife is thrown into the fire during cremation. We call Sathya. Okay? This was the earlier culture that we practiced. As time passes, the passage of time, we change all this. Okay? Now we don't throw anyone into the fire. In fact, we encourage that young lady to get married and lead a better life. Okay, rather than being alone. Again, passage of time. So what was once illegal, now we become legal, and what was there in our culture, now we change it. Okay, all these are still comes under worldly truth. So we set the rule and we change it later. Okay, this is the example for the worldly truth. Now we move on to the next slide. Okay, this is spiritual truth. Go back. Okay, spiritual truth does not change in all the three periods of time. That is the past, present, and in future. Okay. One example is the values that we learn, where we teach Vikas and we also practice. All the 5 values and the sub-values that we learn, it never changes. In the past, the value is the same. Present, it is the same. In future, the value will be the same. Same the 5 elements that is given to Earth. It's the same in all the 3 periods of time. But we are polluting it now. Okay, they are still there, the elements, but we are polluting it. Okay. Now, example I give you the second picture. Those animals, the carnivores, where they eat meat. Take example, lion and tiger. They only eat meat. They cannot eat any other vegetarian food. Okay, like for example, leaves or grass. But they do eat grass, and when they had stomach upset or what, even dogs, cats, they go and eat some grass or some vegetation. That is only to purge out all the, or to vomit out all the indigestion that they have. But other than that, they will only eat meat. And if you take herbivore, if you see a cow there, the cow can only eat grass as how it has been created. Cow, goats, and all these herbivores, they only eat leaves and grass. They can't eat meat. They tried. In UK, sometime back, 20 years back, what they did, all those meat that you throw away, like அந்த குடல்லாம் இருக்குல்ல, unused meat that we don't consume, அவங்க என்ன செஞ்சாங்க, அதெல்லாம் எடுத்து காய வச்சு அரைச்சி அந்த மாட்டுக்கு தவிடு மாதிரி போடுவாங்கல்ல. So they put together with them for them to eat. The cow didn't know. The cow ate. Finally, what happened? Mad cow disease. Disease took place. Because in God's creation, carnivore is carnivore, herbivore is herbivore. You cannot change. In the past, it eat veggie. In present, it will eat veggie. In future, the cow also will eat veggie. They don't change. In the spiritual truth, it doesn't change all these things. So the value remains. The elements that we see remain. The 5 senses that we and the animal have also remain. Okay, they don't change. Okay, but what changes is here. I give you one example, additional. This is quite serious currently happening in our country right now. You can see every day in the news, MSCC catching people for corruption. Okay, for example, I give you one example. Let's say now I'm working in a government agency and I'm an officer that allowed to sign. And what happened is, during this period when I signed all this document, I was very honest. My salary is only 4,000. This 4,000, I need to give food for my family. I got a house to pay, car to pay, the bills to settle. End of the month, I don't have enough money for any little luxury. I can't go for vacation. I want to upgrade my old phone also. I cannot. So because the amount of money that I'm getting is very limited, it's just nice for me to survive without any luxury. But my working colleague beside me is earning some extra income that is under table money. It is corruption. And he is earning monthly 4,000, same like me, and additionally is getting 3,000. Now he got 7,000 a year. With this additional money, he is leading a little luxury life that I can't afford. And I look at him. Hey, this guy is doing it and he escapes. And when I talk to him, he says, hey, don't worry, it's only a small amount. You know, and ministers are making a big amount. So for us to take this small amount is okay, you know. Then I looked at him, he also prayed. And he's happy with his family. I'm also praying, but I can't fulfill my family's full need because my salary is low. So then I asked God, he is okay, he's earning money, side income, and he's also leading a good life. I also wanted to do. It's only a small amount, God. I'm not earning such a big corruption money. Is only a small money. So I start now taking corruption money. So now my perception to the value of truth changes. Earlier I was very honest, very truthful. But because looking at other people, they are also praying, they are also very good people, and they are earning side income, and they are leading a good life. So now what happened is, truth remains the same. But my perception towards the truth changes, and I change myself. Even I go back home, I pray. Pray to God, thank you very much. Today nobody caught me and I took some money. I'm very happy with that. But if I'm unlucky, one day the rule of law, if they caught me, then the rule of law applies to me. So if you look at it, values never change in past, present, and future. But our perception to the value changes. So because it changes, the perception changes, we tend to change. And we say, no, it's okay lah, like this is okay lah. Nothing wrong. This is what we call the perception to the value changes, but the value never changes. In the past, present, and future, in all the three periods of time, it is still the same. Okay, now we move on to the next slide. I hope you understand a bit better now spiritual truth and the worldly truth. Now we'll come to the next question. Why we need to know this? Why? Let's see what Swami says. We need to differentiate both and start thinking with our higher mind and submerge in spiritual truth for the betterment of ourselves and our family. Okay, what I mean by ourselves and family. For example, in Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க புண்ணியம்னு சொல்லிட்டு. Okay, some of you may not believe this. Some will believe this. Sometimes நம்மளுக்கு எவ்வளவு தடங்கள் வரும், ரொம்ப ஈஸியா தாண்டி போயிடும். நம்ம நினைச்சுக்குவோம் கடவுள் நம்மளுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்றாருன்னு. சம்டைம்ஸ் என்ன ஆகும்னா நம்மளோட முப்பாட்டன் நம்ம தாத்தா அவங்க செஞ்ச சில புண்ணியங்கள் நம்ம அப்பாவுக்கு சேர்ந்து பேர பிள்ளைங்களுக்கும் வந்து சேரும். இது நம்மளுக்கு தெரியாது, ஏன்னா நம்ம கண்ணால பார்க்கல இது. ஸோ நீங்க செய்யற சில குட் திங்ஸ், குட் டீட்ஸ் that we do with using our higher mind and following the path of spiritual, this punyam will come to, this grace will come also to you and your family. Okay, இதை நம்ம கண்ணால பார்க்காத வாசி we think இதெல்லாம் சரியில்லை. But you may believe or you may not believe. I leave it to you. And if you look at the picture, Ganesha, most of the time you see Ganesha's picture, you can see Ganesha's leg, one leg down, one leg up. One leg down, one leg up. This tells us, live in this world. You need to live in this worldly truth. But keep your mind at a higher level. That is the spiritual truth. That is the godly truth. So don't attach down. So one leg down, one leg up. This is what the Ganesha, the leg part of Ganesha is explaining, the explanation of it. So each time you look at Ganesha, think to yourself, that is worldly truth. The other leg is godly truth. That is the spiritual truth, the ultimate truth. Okay. So we need to have some changes in life. We need to know this, and we need to submerge into the spiritual truth. Later we will see what Swami says further into this spiritual truth. Give some example. Okay, move on to the next question. The next one. Okay, now we come to a very important part. How can we practice spiritual truth in our daily life amidst all the challenges? We all go through a lot of challenge. As a father, you go through challenge. As a child, you go through challenge. As a mother, as a grandfather, sometimes we go through a lot of challenges too. Okay, when the children are big, yet you go through challenges. Okay, recently one of my relatives told me, our stress buster is by going out with family for dinner. Every week once at least we go out outside to eat. It's a different place, different environment, the children, me, my husband, every one of us will have a relief. It's a stress buster by going out and having dinner in the mall, and then later we just walk around the mall. Something very happy for them. But what happened during this pandemic? We can't go out. And now we are allowed to go out and eat. But last time we cannot go out, only packing. So what happened to the stress, all staying at home and looking at each other? It increased. So this is also a challenge. So we are the worldly truth and facing all these challenges. How can we practice this spiritual truth? This is just one example. Maybe one of you can unmute and give your suggestion. How can we practice? It's a confusion state, but maybe you have an answer. I don't know. Anyone? It's a question. Anybody? Okay. Don't know, uncle. Need some tips. The tips are coming later. Okay. Swami has given a
At
very
the
good
moment,
tip.
everyone is still confused. Don't know what to say.
It's very good for us to get confused. Only through confusion we can come to a conclusion. Okay. Move on to the next slide. Oh, you like Vadivelu, huh? Okay, I also like it. Okay. Let's see here. The question is, how can we practice spiritual truth in our life amidst all the challenges? Let's look at the challenges first, then we'll come to how. Okay, we'll tackle how later. Okay, Swami says challenges. Okay, let's look at the challenges that we ourselves face. Okay, we all are in the worldly truth. Okay, we are not saints, we are not sages, we are not an avatar or God. So we all go through this worldly truth. Okay, Swami says we go through challenges in life, and we have 4 stages of life, or we call it ashrams. Okay, the ashrams here is stages of life, not the monasteries. Okay, not monastery. This is stages of life. We have 4 stages. First one is Brahmacharya Ashram, or we call celibate. Second is Grihastha, then Vanaprastha and Sannyasa Ashram. Okay, these are the 4 ashrams we go through. Let's take the first one. First one is Brahmacharya Ashram. Brahma refers to Brahman, that is God or divine. Charya means path. So which is Brahmacharya means path to divinity. Okay, that age is the age from birth until you get married. It means your birth, you go studies, you go for your worldly studies and also for spiritual studies. So it means worldly knowledge and spiritual knowledge. Yeah? We need both. Don't get confused with worldly truth and spiritual truth. They are different. This is worldly knowledge and spiritual knowledge. You can see in our center, children goes to school. But come Sunday, they come for Balvika's class. Now online classes going on. Okay, this is spiritual truth. Just like a bird with 2 wings can fly, we need both this knowledge, worldly knowledge and also spiritual knowledge. So a child goes through the stages, as a baby, as a young kid, as a teenager, then as a university student, then you graduate, then you get a job and you work, you may buy a car, you may buy a house. You go through all this as a Brahmacharya life. Then what happens is, and remember our role during Brahmacharya life is only as a son or maybe as a brother or a sister, a daughter. This is the 4 roles that we have during this period of time. Then we move to that next slide. That is Grihastha life, ashram. This is a householder. By then, you are married. Okay, we are married. We have a wife. We have a kid. We may buy a house. We will have a car. We'll be paying for all the bills. We have to go through all this. Okay. During the Brahmacharya life, ashram, you also go through a lot of challenge as a child, as a teenager, as a student, and getting a job. The job may not suit you. You may have racism in the job. All this goes through. It's also challenge. The second part in Grihastha, also we go through a lot of challenge. In fact, now is more challenge than in the celibate. Sometimes people will say, "ஐயோ நான் ஏன் கல்யாணம் பண்ணேன், வாழ்க்கை ரொம்ப சிரமமா இருக்கு, கல்யாணம் பண்ணாமே இருந்திருக்கலாமே, ரொம்ப ஈஸியா இருந்துச்சு அப்ப." Why? Because your role is lesser. Here your role is more. Now your role will be husband, son-in-law, you may be uncle, then you're a father. You have now added more roles in your life in this householder age. And this is the role where a lot of pressure will go, a lot of stress we will get, okay, which we all are going through now. Okay, this is called householder. Okay, and now we will come to the next part, which is the Vanaprastha or recluse. So what happened during this period of time? This is the time, by this time your kids are married. Okay, your kids are already married. All your worries partly have reduced a little. Your challenges have reduced a little. If you have unmarried kid, a daughter or son, then you want, if they cannot find their own partner, then you have more challenges looking a partner. அவங்களுக்கு பொண்ணு தேடணும், இல்லை மாப்பிள்ளை தேடி கொடுக்கணும், அந்த நேரத்தில் அவ்வளோ ஈஸி இல்லை. ஜாதகம் பார்ப்பீங்க, ராகு எங்கேயும் இருக்காது, கேது எங்கேயா இருக்காருன்னு சொல்லி அதுவும் நடக்காம போயிடும். All these are challenges you go through. But by the time this age of Vanaprastha, you will have a bit of freedom in yourself, because by the time your kids are married, or if they don't want to get married, you can't force them. Okay, this is the age what we call one who withdraw or retired for worldly life, retired from worldly life, and they hand over the household responsibility to the next generation and take on advisory role, and they will be more concerned on their own hobbies. Sometimes they will have some hobbies. They will focus more on these hobbies. They love to do gardening at certain age. Let's say 60, 65. You love to do some gardening. You love to do read some spiritual books. Even the movies that you see, you don't like to see a lot of romantic movie on the new movie. You like to see some movies more towards a spiritual based movie where you have some value. And some of you may want to involve to do some service work, teaching, or you want to join some organization. Okay, and then you want to carry on to do. Although you can't do much like what you can do during the Brahmacharya and Grihastha stage, but you can still do something. Some people still do. You can see in our center, a lot of gurus are there. Okay, most of them are more than 55 years old, yet they are willing to come and do this teaching. Okay, and some of them இந்த வயசுல சொல்லுவாங்க, பிள்ளைங்க தான் கல்யாணம் பண்ணணும், நான் வந்து காசி ராமேஸ்வரன் போயிட்டு வரேன், இந்தியாவுக்கு போய் காசி ராமேஸ்வரன் போயிடுறேன். நல்லா பார்த்தா காசி வந்து நார்த்ல இருக்கு, ராமேஸ்வரம் வந்து சவுத்ல இருக்கு. ஸோ when they say நான் காசி ராமேஸ்வரம் போயிட்டு வரேன்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்னா, they are going on a pilgrimage to all the temples, because north to south, lot of temples in India, there are more than 1,000 over temples. So they will select some temples and they like to go to this place. During the Grihastha stage or the Brahmacharya stage, in Brahmacharya stage, you like to also tour alone with your friends. In the householder stage, you go for tour with your family. Okay, here you, both of you spouse will go together with not a European tour or anything like that. You like to go more towards the spiritual places. இது வந்து இந்த லைஃப். நீங்க பழைய படத்துல பார்க்கலாம், வெரி ஃபனியா, மேபி ஜோக் ஃபார் சம் ஆஃப் யூ. நான் பார்த்துருக்கேன் பழைய படத்துல, எஸ்பெஷலி பிளாக் அண்ட் ஒயிட் மூவி, தமிழ் மூவி. அந்த வீட்டில் உள்ள மதர் இன் லா பெரிய ஒரு சாவி கொத்து வந்து இடுப்புல கட்டியிருப்பாங்க. ஓகே, அவங்க தான் எல்லாம் செஞ்சு கொடுப்பாங்க வீட்டில். They don't trust bank. Money, naga, everything is kept in a bureau like a locker. You know, everything is kept there. When the daughter-in-law comes, she's only a daughter-in-law for a while. When the mother-in-law sees the daughter-in-law, okay, with children, and she can handle the family better, and she is mother-in-law also getting old, and the நேரத்தில் அந்த சாவி கொத்தை எடுத்து அந்த மருமக கையில கொடுப்பாங்க, இதாம்மா இனிமே இந்த வீட்டை நீ பார்த்துக்கிறேன்னு சொல்லி. This is the stage what I call the Vanaprastha stage, where you hand over your responsibility to some. A father will hand over the responsibility to the son. Okay, you look after the family, I'm old, I can't do much. Okay, this is the age. After handing over, they look into some other means, all leading towards the spiritual. Okay, now comes to the last stage, that is the stage of Sannyasa, renunciation. In this stage, we detach from material life and all the desires that we have. In the நேரத்தில் maybe one of the spouse might not be with us. Okay, இந்த நேரத்தில் வந்து you don't want car, you don't want to go anywhere. You like to stay put in one place and enjoy the serenity of the place. Okay, so you will focus more on peaceful, love and inspired spiritual, peaceful and love inspired life that you want. Okay, peaceful and love inspired spiritual life. Okay, you, if your family permits, you also like to end up in monastery. You don't want to be with them. You like to end up in monastery. Sometimes when you are old, you love grandkids, you know. When the grandkids are small, they were attached with the grandparents. When the grandkid reaches a teenage life, okay, அவங்க உங்ககிட்ட ரொம்ப வரமாட்டாங்க. அந்த நேரத்தில் உங்க மனசு ரொம்ப கஷ்டமா இருக்கும். பேர பிள்ளையே நம்மளை வந்து பார்க்க மாட்டுது, ஃபோன் பண்ண மாட்டுதுங்க. I'll give you one example. When I had my handphone shop, this Malay uncle, one old uncle, he bought 4 handphones for me for his grandkids. And one day he came to me and told me in Bahasa Malaysia lah, he told me, saya beli 4 handphone tapi satu hantu pun kamu telefon saya. You know, what he's trying to say is, I got phone, but nobody want to call me. I understand his feeling, you know, and I also understand the teenagers' feeling. At certain time, they want to be on their own. So இந்த நேரத்தில் என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா, you yourself அந்த நேரத்தில் ஒரு சார் ஓகேலா பிள்ளைங்களும் தனியா இருக்கு, நம்ம பேர பிள்ளைங்களும் இப்போ நம்மளுக்கு தேவையில்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நீங்களே ஒதுங்கி போயிருங்க. ஓகே, இதுதான் அந்த ஸ்டேஜ் ஆஃப் renunciation. Okay, now you see all the four stages, right? Now the question comes here. A person goes through all these four stages, all the four ashrams. Okay, what changes and what never changes? Anybody can answer? What changes and what never changes? Okay, since all of you are very quiet, what changes here is the stages changes, the ashram changes, our responsibility, our roles changes. From just a son, a student, a brother, we move to become a father, husband, son-in-law, brother-in-law, all these changes. And then we also change when we become old, we become grandparents. Okay, our role, additional role comes to that. Say again, changes occur. Okay, then during the renunciation, that is the end part. Again, we give up everything, back to square one. Again, our role changes. Our body also changes. When we are small, then we are old. We can grow taller. When we are old, we shrink. In between, we can put on weight, we can reduce our weight. So all these changes. What never changes is this. All of you know what never changes is this process. What never changes is the Atma. The Atma is the child, and the Atma when you are old is the same. It never changes. And this Atma is the spiritual truth. Atma is the spark of divinity. There's Swami always say embodiment of love. Truth is God, love is God. And Swami says you are the embodiment of love, or Swami says you are the spark of divinity. Spark of divinity. So we have the divine quality in us, and that is the Atma. So the spiritual truth in us is our Atma. That never changes. Okay? Past, present, and future, that never changes. That is the spiritual truth. I hope you understand now. Okay? If you really understand this, put it on the chat and least I can see. Okay? I'll explain the next part. I'll explain what we go through. This is all the challenges we go through in life. Now, when we are old, we also have another challenge. That is our bodily challenge. When we are old, our body may not be as good as when we are young. Okay, we also go through a lot of changes in our health, and that is also a challenge to us. Okay, these are the challenges. Now we will tackle how we can practice. With all the challenges that we face, how can we practice this? Next slide. Okay, how we can do this is, Swami says, simply speak what you think and do what you say. Speak what you think and do what you say. So the unity in thought, word, and deed is the meaning of the tapas or penance. Swami says the great penance a person can do is having a good thought, good word, and good deeds. This is a great penance. Not you go and sit in the jungle, or you stand upside down and doing all the tapas. That is not a great tapas. It's speak what you think and do what you see. This is greatness in you. This will lead us to spiritual truth. It's so simple, but very difficult for us to practice. Because every time we make mistake. It's good that we make mistake if you realize it, so that we can correct ourselves. I give you some examples here. This is our day-to-day life. Okay. Let's say you are a doctor now. Okay, you work in a government hospital. I know how tough it is for a doctor to work in a government hospital. But some take it very easy. The moment their time is over, They punch out and go. They don't care if people are waiting. That is the duty of another doctor. But, okay, that is worldly life. Okay? But then, what happened here is, if you are practicing this spiritual truth, your Atma now sees, hey, there's a lot of Atma there where their body is suffering. Let me spend some additional time with them. And you rather than clicking your time, you spend a bit extra time. Let others go. Others, you don't have to bother about your other feeling. But you spend a little bit time with them. And that is, you're moving towards your, like, speak what you think and do what you say. You say, do good, do good, do good. Now do. Okay, that is only saying. Here you must also practice it. So no point learning a lot of scriptures and all that, the good things that Swami gives in our books and all, but we don't put it into practice. Practice is what that will lead us to transformation. Let's say you are a guru now. A guru, Swami says, a guru has 3 roles to play. One, you can teach. Just teaching, mere teaching, that's all, which is happening in most of our government schools. Second, the guru can be a motivator, teaching and also as a motivator. You can motivate a child, you do better, you can do really better, you are very good. You know, you just little bit mistake, you can, that's motivation. Another, you go one step higher, the guru can inspire the child. You can inspire in many, many different ways. I'm very sure you have gone through this in your guru's training. You can teach, that's one. Second, you can motivate, and you can go to the higher mind, higher thinking, that you inspire the child. Some of you, I can tell you, even though you have left your school, your university and all, you're working, you're married, maybe your grandparents now, you can still remember some of your teachers in school. You like the teacher very much. You love the teacher. You can still remember their face and their name. You know why? They inspired you. This is what we can remember. Some gurus, some of the teachers, for the bad things they have done, you can still remember them. But sometimes you remember them for the good thing. Similarly, when the child comes to Balvikas, you are a guru there, you have 3 choices. You can just teach and go. You can motivate them. You can inspire them. You can tell a good story. You can do good things and all that. Now, this is spiritual truth. You move one step forward from the worldly truth. The worldly truth is a guru. That is a worldly truth. If you want to teach, that is a worldly truth. But if you want to move in a higher level, you inspire them, that is spiritual truth. Now, I'll give you another example. Let's say we come to center, we do a lot of seva. Guru is also seva. You come to a clinic, you do seva. And then you go to, for example, we have service activity, we have old folks home music, we have feeding the people in the street, we have a lot of other seva activities. If you go and do this seva, you are still in the worldly truth. But if you do the seva and you look at yourself, oh my God, God, you still keep me very well. I'm better than them. This is the gratitude we are expressing to God. And yet I'm complaining, I don't have this, I don't have that. Okay, I'm already good. Others don't have this, yet I'm having this. I don't have a big house, at least I have a small roof. I don't have a very expensive car, at least I have a small, simple car. I may not be rich, but I have enough for myself and my family. You can look at it that way by doing this seva that we are doing. Then slowly, from the level of concentration, we have moved to contemplation. And putting into daily practice, we will move to a higher level, that is a state of meditation. And not the meditation you sit and do. This is also a meditative level because now you are connected to a higher self, that is our Atma. Because we are not looking at what we were before. We have done a transformation in us. A transformation has took place after we do seva, we see that we are better than them. So this is what the contemplation. After this contemplation is the realization that we are better than them. Then how we can practice this, and putting into daily practice will lead us to a higher self, and that will lead us to the spiritual truth. Okay? Or a godly truth. Now, we go through a lot of challenges. Remember, I said we go through this challenge, that challenge. And Swami says, speak what you think and do what you say. Have unity in thought, word, and deed. I give you a short story. Swami said this story. There was this yogi, and the yogi, he took two vows. He told God, I want to practice these two vows. And the first vow that he took to practice is he won't tell lie. Okay? He won't tell lie at all. And the second vow he take is he won't hurt anyone. Okay? No hurting anyone, animal, nothing. I won't hurt anything. This is the two vows that I've taken, and I'm going to do a penance. So you sit in one corner, part in the jungle, and you start doing his meditation, a penance. Then you sit quietly. At times he opens his eyes, at times, because he don't want to hurt anything. I don't want to tell a lie. God, Lord Indra watched this, and he thought, let me test this yogi. Okay? He's doing a very great, earnestly he's doing a penance. Let me test him. So Lord Indra came as a hunter. Some of you may know this story. He came as a hunter, and what he did, he started chasing a deer. He got a bow and arrow, he started chasing a deer. And this yogi, when he opened his eye to relax, he saw this hunter, the deer is running and hunter is chasing it. And what the deer did, it came right in front of the yogi in the jungle and hide in front of him in the bushes. The deer couldn't run because Lord Indra, as a hunter, is so powerful and strong and chasing very close. Anyway, Lord Indra is the hunter and he is also the deer. He's just putting a test. And the hunter also ran and stopped right in front of the yogi. And then now the hunter asked the yogi, Master, did you see a deer passing by this place? Now the yogi is put into a test. If the yogi said, no, I didn't see, in order to save the deer's life, if the yogi says, I didn't see, then the yogi is telling a lie. If the yogi says, yeah, I saw the deer is hiding in the bush, then the yogi is not speaking a lie, but is humming a lie. The deer will be killed. So at this point, it's a great challenge for the yogi. And he don't know what to do, how to answer this hunter. So the yogi said, please wait, and then he meditates. In the meditation, he is actually earnestly asking God, please give me an answer. What can I do? You know, I need an answer here. Because he was doing a great penance, God gave him the answer. And this is what he said to the hunter. And he told, listen this very carefully. He said, this, the eyes that see cannot speak, and the tongue that can speak cannot see. The eyes that can see, okay, cannot speak, and the tongue that can talk or say cannot see. Which means to us that the eyes that saw the deer cannot speak, and the tongue that can speak did not see the deer. Seeing one thing and saying another thing amounts to a falsehood. In this way, he escaped the difficult situation. The hunter, like he made the hunter confused. Okay, the hunter is none other than Lord Indra. And Swami said this, God at once responds to the prayers of those who pray to him with purity of heart. Okay, those who utter their prayers without any earnestness, God will not answer their prayers. So you need to pray very earnestly. No matter how long they keep on praying, those who pray with sincerity of feelings and purity of heart will get immediate response from God. Swami also says, a lot of people sing bhajan. Okay? How many of you sing earnestly? Earnestly here means you're pouring out from your heart with bhava, raga and sala. But most of us, when we sing, we try to check the raga and sala. But here, you must sing, open your heart and sing. Okay? This, we have expressed this many times in our bhajan workshops. Okay? So you can understand here that whatever activity that we do, okay, doing an activity is worldly truth. And understanding what we did, how we can bring transformation in us, and putting that into practice This will lead us into spiritual truth. Okay? That's why Swami said, simply speak what you think and do what you say. Unity in thought, word, and deed is the meaning of penance. So what we must think is good thing, and when we think the good things, we will speak the good thing and we will start doing the good thing. Okay, with good mannerism and everything, all the values that we learn, which will never change in any time, past, present, and future, they are the same. Okay, the next, last slide. Okay, in conclusion, spiritual truth is purity in thought, words, and deed, which will lead us to divinity, that is God. So the spiritual truth now, if you look at it earlier compared to now, okay, it is none other than the purity in our thought, words, and deed. So this will lead us to the divinity. Why I say Brahmacharya, that first stage, is a path to divine. When we are born, we are so pure. Okay, when we come to the renunciation, we are still very pure because Atma is pure in all the four stages. Only our mind changes, our thinking, our thoughts, our character, our body, the stages, all this will change. But Atma never changes. Atma is the divinity. If you can step and go inside, so do frequent meditation, okay, this will lead us to spiritual truth or godly truth. Because Atma is inside is a spot of divinity. So this is a God living in us. That's why Swami said, I'm everywhere and also inside you. You don't need to search me anywhere. Go inward journey. I am there. So the inward journey will take and go. How to take the inward journey? Even when you do seva, you cannot do meditation, never mind. Okay, in this Kali Yuga, very difficult to do meditation. Never mind. You keep trying, but it's difficult. But you do seva. By doing seva, understand what you're doing and putting it into practice, having gratitude with God, putting in practice, have realization, transformation, this will lead into spiritual truth. Although we took the subject so difficult, this is the best I can simplify in the conclusion part. Okay? If you have any questions, you can ask me.
Good. I think there's one by Navin Anne in the chat.
Okay.
I can read it out also.
Okay.
But can we call it truth when there are changes? Worldly truth changes with the passage of time. Truth is changeless. Should it be called worldly perceptions instead?
Okay, thanks. This is not perception. Perception is what you look at it. Okay? Worldly truth is something that is, we have to go through it. Okay? But our perception to whatever that we are doing is different. Perception, why it's not, we cannot call it worldly perception because the perception is individual. And you go through a lot of lives. Okay? Each life that each rebirth that we take actually matures us. That's why you see sometimes a younger person will have a better understanding compared to the older person. We look at the age, the physical age, but actually the younger person's age is higher than the older person because the older person is spiritual age is very young. This younger person is spiritual age is higher than that person, and he will have a better understanding because what he has gone through in the past birth and all, his perception will be different compared to the other person. So to call worldly perception, it's an individual perception. So it's not overall on the world. And Swami clearly says worldly truth and spiritual truth or godly truth. So this was clearly mentioned in the in the Sanadana Saraswati. So I would still say the perception is individual and we cannot call it as worldly because it is not world. But worldly truth is happening to everyone. What we go through, some people can handle, some people cannot handle the challenges. Okay? And some people realize it and move on to the spiritual truth. But perception is based on individual. Just now I mentioned to you perception on the truth. Okay, a person who fully understands the word truth will never take the bribe. Come what may, I will still take. You know the story of Bali, King Bali. Okay, he gave three bulls uh, to somebody, and Sukracharya told him, "Don't give this bull. Please take back." And Bali said, "It's a great. What is the greater sin than taking back what I promised? Come what may, whatever I promised, I will give it. No, whatever happened to me." Look at the level of the king at that time, because he fully believed in the word of truth. So it's not only perception; it is only truth. Of course, truth is changeless. Changeless. That's why I say in worldly truth and the spiritual truth, truth is still the same. But the worldly truth is what we go through every day in life. Okay, and then we tend to change the rules and laws, and we think that is the truth. We are changing this. A spiritual truth never changes. Okay, I hope I answered that question.
Thanks, Uncle. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Any
Please
other
feel
questions?
free to ask your questions in the chat box as well, or you can just unmute your microphone and ask any questions that you have.
Okay, thanks, Anthony. You are right. All of us are striving, but it is good that you realize it and you are striving for it. That is very good because you are at the stage of contemplation. This will lead us into to the level of meditative, the meditation level, which is the spiritual. And it is very hard. Yeah, it's very, very hard. I agree. That's why I put the word as challenges. Such a great yogi was also put into challenge. Who are we? God comes and challenges. But in whatever challenges you go through, hold on to his leg. Even God takes you to the cliff. You hold on to his leg. If you're going to fall, you're going to pull the God along with you and fall down. He won't do it. He will save you. Okay, that's how you must hold his leg. Swami's leg. Whoever you pray to. Okay. Any questions?
Saram, brother.
Saram.
Yeah, Saram. I think the earlier slide, brother, where it says, simply say what you think, and then do what you say or something like that, huh? The earlier slide.
Okay.
One slide before.
One slide before.
Speak what you think.
I think simply say what you think, huh?
Yeah.
So I think that will be the biggest challenge for us, if you ask me, because we will come across situations where there will be a lot of disagreements. Our perception of people will be different. And how do we say it? We may be thinking of something, but how to say it? Because we don't want to hurt people. So I see that as a very big challenge.
Yeah, brother, I agree. That's why I put the challenges first before I come to how. All of us have to go through these challenges.
Yeah. I just wanted to highlight that.
Okay. That is why I simply, Swami didn't say simply, but I put it there by simply, because I know it's very difficult.
Yes.
To make life easy. But Swami said, speak what you think and do what you say. Unity in thought, word, and deed is the meaning of finance. And it's very hard. But I'll give you another example, since you have a little, not many questions. If you look at Lord Rama, his life, Lord Rama, he went through different stages in life, just like the 4 stages in life. Okay. In the 4 stages of life, he has gone through a lot. His marriage is also not so great. Okay. After a moment he married, he has to leave his kingdom. He has to live in the jungle. Then he has to fight with Ravana and all that. So his life is full of challenges. But in all the challenges he faced, Rama faced, his body might have changed, his size might have changed. Okay, what never changes? Rama's quality never changed. Rama's character never changed. Although he went through a lot, we pray to him because of the character and the quality that Rama had. Of course, we are not an avatar like Rama. Even an avatar has to go through such a difficulty, but he never looked at it as difficult. Okay, because he is an avatar, of course, quite easy. But he never looked. But very important message of Rama is the quality that Rama had when the child up to the last stage is that he never changed. His quality never changes. It's a very good example. Okay.
I think with that, what you said, brother, I just wanted to add something also. The best part about Rama, Lord Rama, okay. The best part about Rama is when he came into this world, he did not know that he is an avatar. He did not know that he is an avatar. He did not know that he has his powers. He came as a normal human being. Whereas Krishna avatar, Krishna knew that he's actually a avatar, a godly form. He's got all his powers. Whereas Rama did not know. And the best part is, without knowing, he's remained true to his principles. That's the best part about Rama.
Yeah. So when I said about Rama's character, is also his principle, the great principle that he had. It never changes in all the past, present, and future. He remains the same in all the four stages. This is what I call, when Swami says, of spiritual truth or godly truth, which is also in us. Only thing we are not practicing. But I can see in our center from the day one, because I'm very long in the center, I know some of those devotees who came to center from the first day until now. I know that some I know them more than 20 years. The character of the person, what I knew before and now, has changed. We are moving forward. Okay, that's why it's good to join a spiritual organization and move. Challenges will come. As I said, as a father, you have to run around, ferry your children after work, send them to tuition, this, that. In the between the little time that you have, you come to center, do some seva, all the challenges. But all this will lead us, if you realize it, it will lead us to transformation. Transformation is very good because this is what will lead us to the realization. That is the spiritual. It's good that we are aware that we are going through some changes and we are going through some challenge. So you will go through that, but you will know there is a light at the end of tunnel. So we will go through it.
Brother, can I say something?
Can, sister, you can add.
Yes, you see, speak what you think. That doesn't mean you say the first thing that comes to your mind. What you say is important in the way you say it.
Yeah.
And then when you say do what you say, is the example that you will set.
Yes, sister.
Yes. So I think this, and then you see, so when you say something very nicely and you follow it, that is already unity in thought, word and deed.
Correct.
So when you present yourself with any situation which is controversial, you see, the way you say it, the way you do it will set the rules for others. And then it will be easier for them to tolerate it. But if you are always saying something and offending people, then of course it is going to create a lot of chaos.
Yes, correct.
Yes, sir. This is what I feel.
Correct. No, sister, you are right. That's why earlier I said, speak what you think means have mannerism when you say it. You know, the good thing, and you say it with a manner. So you must know how to talk to the youngsters, your age, and also to the adult. So
anybody.
This comes with a degree of maturity. Sometimes you see the youngsters talk to us like how they talk to their friends. Okay, they can advise them at that point. But sometimes we understand, this is what they go through. We also went through that.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Anyone wanted to add? You can add.
Children in the call, you all want to say something? You want to say what you all learned? You can share also.
Very good, Chandini. You said you cannot always oblige, but you can always speak obligingly. Swami has said this. Okay? Although you don't agree, you don't fight. Okay? You say it in your manner. It's very good. But most of the time, the problem with us is we tend to react rather than respond. Okay, respond. But if you can give some space, a gap between what you are thinking and what you are saying, that gap, if you can give, then it's great because you tend to respond. If you don't give that little gap, straight away, whatever you think you wanted to say, this is what we call react. Okay, and then we can't do it obligingly. We hurt people. This is the challenge which we have to go through. Okay, since there's no question, I leave it to you, Brother Lisha.
Okay, Uncle, thank you so much. Okay, salam everyone. So that was a very nice, short and sweet session. So just to summarize, I've written down a few notes. So, first Uncle talked about worldly truth and spiritual truth. Right? So what's the difference? So truth is things that are happening as we see today in the world, right? So it's regarding the five senses, it's about the five senses. So what we see, what we hear, what we touch, so on and so forth. And it changes with the passage of time. I think I have to agree that for me, I think truth is also subjective in a way, the worldly truth, because here it's 9:10 p.m. but in UK it's a different time, but both are truth, right? In the UK it's daytime and here it's nighttime. Both are truths also. So yeah, I think I see it that way. And then spiritual truth is actually something that transcends time, space, and everything, right? So it's God itself, or it's known as godly truth. And yeah, so Uncle said also we need to the whole essence of this is to keep your mind at a higher level, like how Ganesha sits, right? So one leg, so we still need to live in this world, but always aspire to that spiritual truth or towards God. And how you do that is through your journey inwards, lah, right? And then at the end of the day, we spoke about that quote Uncle Rama spoke about also, speak what you think and do what you say. And that there was a good, discussion on that, right? So speak what you think and do what you say. It's hard, but it can be done. Do it respectfully. There's a few quotes from Swami that Chandini Chechi has shared as well, right? So that is that. And if you want to sum it up, everything together, spiritual truth is godly truth. And how you reach it is by having purity in thoughts, words, and deeds. So I think, Uncle, did I do a good job? Did I conclude?
Yeah, very good summarize. Very good.
Okay,
so you were listening. Very good.
Yes. So okay, that's all for tonight. Thank you very much once again for joining this session. Yeah. So a few things. We'll close shortly, right, with a prayer, but and after that we'll take a quick picture. So those who want to on your camera, you can on your cameras and take a quick picture. Okay. Before that, I would also like to remind you that the next study circle will be on the 26th of March. So you can mark your calendars and all that. So it's exactly 1 month from today. 26th of March 2021 is the next study circle. So we are open to anyone who wants to come forward and conduct the study circle, or present anything that you like. Okay, so if you want to do that, if you're interested, please contact either Uncle Murthy or Navin Anne. Okay, so with that said, we can close now. So we'll do a quick prayer, and then after that, stay in the call. We'll take a quick picture. Okay. Om Shanti 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 Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti